Welcome back to Man Across New Horizons. I'm dear darling, as we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where we'll be vibing out per usual. I believe it was a Pokemon Presents today, which, you know, I only say this because I saw the trailer for Pokemon Sleep just literally minutes before. Well, okay, maybe 1 minute before I started recording this video, because I saw it and I was like, whoa, I forgot that was still a thing. I thought it was released by now, and it sort of just like was a very obscure thing, like the Pokemon like toothbrushing app or something, which is meant to help kids brush their teeth. Which, to be fair, you know, if you're going to gamify anything, I suppose as a gaming company, you might as well game like healthy habits in general. So, you know, brushing your teeth and sleep, fair enough, especially with such a wide-ranging appeal that Pokemon has. But anyway, hello there everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow at 6:05 PM on Monday, February 27th, 2023. You'll be glad to know I finished the thumbnail art for the series following on from Cuphead yesterday. I think it was yesterday, I don't remember. The art time-lapse is all ready to go. I haven't done the titles yet. I'm actually not sure if I've done the Cosmic Express titles yet. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I might have forgotten to do them, but because I know I haven't done them for a while. Let's see, what's the most recently uploaded video? Looks like it was an Amori video. Oh, episode 60. It's okay to take it slow. I don't remember which episode that is, but hopefully it's a good one. And if it's not, then oh well. I mean, all the like final episodes of Amori's are just absolute banger episodes. I'm not gonna lie. Well, maybe not because of episodes. Maybe like banger moments in Amori. I don't think I really did much in them, I suppose, to do it. But okay, I'll save snack time by delivering this to Phoebe. I think it's been ages since we had to deliver anything to another villager, to be perfectly honest. But yeah. It's almost February 28th, you know what that means. All the gacha banners are rolling over. Actually, to be fair, some of them already rolled over today. Starlight Stage rolled over today. Shiny Colours rolling over tomorrow. Genshin's rolling out over the day after, I think. And I don't know any others off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. I don't play that many gacha games. I say naming 3 of them. But yeah, I don't know what we're talking about. Like Pokemon Sleep. From what I can understand, it's basically just like a game, you know, like how Pokemon Go is basically gamified. Go outside, touch grass, and walk a bit. You know, and Pokemon toothbrushing or whatever it's called is Pokemon toothbrushing gamified. Pokemon Sleep just looks like sleep gamified. You put it on. It looks like, from as far as I can tell, before you go to sleep, and you go to sleep, and then depending on how you sleep, like you can collect things. It's just a way to sort of encourage healthy sleeping patterns, I suppose. Honestly, that looks pretty good on you, Phoebe. I'm not gonna lie. You got quite the eye biscuit. Yeah. I'm surprised quite how gamified it is. And I know some people really love gamification of things. I've spoken to people before who were just like, you know, the best way to motivate me to do something is make it a game. You know, and it's like, you know, do this for like a healthy life. I'm like, and then now it's gamified, and you're like, yeah. It's not me personally, you know. I don't think the best way to motivate me to do something is to gamify it necessarily. I can't say if gamification has a positive or a negative effect on me doing something. I'm trying to think. Like, I think the best effect something has on me doing something is definitely like just like a diligent schedule, I suppose, rather than particular gamification. Gamification I sort of like try and keep separate, I suppose, from my actual, you know, like gaming is one thing, and then the rest of my life is a different thing, or like different parts of my life are a different thing. You know, like I guess I'm not really the sort of person who likes all parts of their life like merging and blending together. Some people do. More power to you. To me, I guess generally I like to keep things separate. Like, I guess the biggest merge I have is the fact that, you know, I do my art stuff, I suppose, kind of bleeds into my YouTube videos stuff, but that's literally it. I think. Obviously not literally it. Every single day, you know, things sort of like bleed into each other, like skills are transferable across different mediums and platforms. So just to say that this is the only thing which, you know, I have like a shared skill on is misleading, I would say. But it's sort of like, there's not much I sort of like consciously bleed over skill wise. I think the biggest thing just being with sort of like thumbnail art. So yeah, I don't know, gamification. Is it my thing? Is it not my thing? I don't know. We also got to record more Happy in Paradise episodes. How many do I have got recorded? I need to record to the 18th. Or 19th, I suppose, technically, on my published time. So I need to record 7 more. Are you kidding me? That feels like so much. Is that right? I guess that makes sense. Hold on. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Day 1082. I swear I recorded 1 more. Maybe I didn't. Did I not? I guess I didn't. How many did I record yesterday? I recorded 2 the day before. 1, 2, 3, 4, only recorded 5 that day. I thought I recorded 6. Maybe that's why I got the calculations wrong in my head. So I've got to record 7 more. So I'm probably going to be recording 2 or 3 today. And then tomorrow, maybe like at max 1, I'm going to be honest. And the day after, I will finish off. So hopefully I will be all finished by Wednesday. All the recordings I need. But I generally don't know if I'm going to finish or not. Probably I will. I mean, at worst, one of the episodes will just be like a 10-minute episode of me just sort of like sitting there talking. But you are in for a wild time, I think, when you watch those episodes, because those episodes are so quick. They're so rapid fire. Happy in Paradise customization. I'm like unhinged in the first 2, I would say, and the rest of them I'm just like, you can tell I'm getting tired. Like I'm not speaking properly and that sort of thing. But we'll see what happens. Basically, is a long and short of it. But hopefully I have time to do that, and then that'll be all my YouTube stuff done, and then got to finish some other stuff, my real life. I'm kind of close, but I think I'll maybe get it done, or at least get it into a reasonable spot. Yeah, I don't know, gamification of things. Have I talked about gamification before? I'm not really sure. Gamification. You might, is that how you spell gamification? You might think, because of the way I said it, oh, there's no E. Okay, that makes sense. Gamification. I haven't actually. That's surprising. You might be like the way I've talked about things. You might get the impression that I'm very negative about gamification. I'm like, what's the point of it? It's useless. It's bad. It's a negative effect. When reality, that's not what I believe at all. I think it's cool, to be honest. Obviously, it's sort of presence of video games in a much more modern world right now. It's becoming a bigger portion, I suppose, of a media properties that people are willing to engage with. It's taken some time, especially seeing as video game is quite a new entertainment platform medium in the first place, but it's one which is very transferable, I think, to a load of other things. Because I mean, like gamification, the equivalents have happened for like movies and TVs. I mean, that's kind of like what PSA announcements are, or product placement is, isn't it? It's just like you watching a TV or an animated movie, and it's all about, it's actually like promoting, like good moral values or something in somewhat. That's like what a lot of TV shows and movies are now, and it's one I talk about a lot, like family-friendly shows. Or kids TV, or kids entertainment, is a lot of it is trying to appeal to like teaching good moral values, because that's kind of what kids should be learning, I suppose, at that age. Not saying that all kids, well, I mean, I resent the idea that the things can't be educational while also being fun, I suppose. To me, gamification is just like another thing in that boat. Like, I don't think everyone's going to be using it. I'm going to assume that mostly Pokemon is marketing it towards probably kids and younger, kids up to younger adults, but there's still going to be older adults who probably still like it as well. It just kind of depends on your workflow and how things appeal to you, to be perfectly honest. So if it works for you, it works for you. Don't make me feel like I'm trying to like rain on your parade. That's awesome if it works for you. But yeah, gamification, like, I mean, I feel like I've seen it quite a lot through like these sort of products things, but of course not with games necessarily. Like there was this really popular toothbrush when I was younger, which it's called like Toothbrush Tunes or something. I can't even remember, but basically it plays like a song through your toothbrush, and because like the toothbrush is inside your skull, you can like hear it like really well or something, and then you're meant to listen to like the whole song while brushing your teeth. I can't remember like what songs they played, but I think one of them was like Britney Spears' Toxic. I don't know why I remember that necessarily, but whatever. And that's just to get kids to brush their teeth for a long amount of time. And in any case, I can respect it. I feel like people, it's too easy to look at it and be like demeaning towards it and be like, oh, if you can't even brush your teeth properly, like without a product, I suppose, telling you to do it for 2 minutes, like what's even the point? But so everyone's got like different like thresholds of how easy something is for them, or how much motivation they need, or things to make it more fun. And at the end of the day, there's no cost to making things more fun. Is there? As long as it doesn't impede like the actual progress, it's not like that toothbrush that plays tunes in your head makes you suddenly like terrible at brushing your teeth. Maybe, I mean, maybe there's a correlation, maybe it has some small causation of that sort of thing, but it doesn't inherently through its mechanics or anything like that. And it goes with a lot of things, like, the best way to set up diligence is just to get the ball rolling, I suppose, in the first place. And the thing is with gamification is it sort of forces you into a scheduled diligence in the first place, which helps, I think, build healthy habits. You can always argue, I suppose, especially with Pokemon Sleep. I'll use this as my example, being like, oh, going on your phone before you sleep is really bad, for going to sleep. You see the blue light or whatever, and you subconsciously trick your brain into thinking it's daylight, and you have a harder time falling asleep. It's encouraging people to use their phones before they go to sleep. It's like, yeah, okay, fair enough, but I'm pretty sure I bet 100% bet you they designed it that you can do whatever you need to do your dailies, quote, in before you go to sleep in like less than 5 minutes, probably. Like, if I was a game designer and this is my intention of making Pokemon Sleep to encourage people to have healthy sleeping patterns, but you would have to do that. It would make no sense otherwise. And then when you wake up, you can have things, go on for a bit longer. But basically, the essence I'm trying to get at here is like the design of the gamification products, I suppose, can still facilitate the actual healthy habits they're trying to encourage, even if it's not necessarily the most perfect way of developing the habit. It's still better than nothing for a lot of cases. And for certain people out there, that is going to make a difference. There's certain people out there who probably don't have healthy sleeping habits, and this is addressed only at you if you're like a hater or a critic, or a harsh critic, or a critic with no basis, I should say. Not necessarily actually directed at you. I just, I'm trying to just do this for the purpose of conversation. If you are sitting there and being like, well, the best way to do it is just like to learn to have healthy sleeping habits and actually, go to sleep early, wake up early and that sort of thing. And, don't drink coffee, don't eat cheese or something before bed. Yeah, okay, fair enough. They're all fair things to say. But for some people, this is just going to work better. Even if it only helps 5% of people, whoever even heard of the app in the first place. 5% is quite a lot, I suppose, but 0.1% of people. That's still a reasonable amount. 0.1% people who are getting more and better sleep and better life habits, I suppose, from it. That's only positives in my mind. Of course, the actual fair point you can counter argue is the fact that what if it actually adversely affects people, because they now have a game on the phone before they go to sleep, they're more encouraged to check their phone before they go to sleep when they wouldn't previously. Okay, fair enough. I don't have the statistics behind that to know if that's even true or not. So I guess we're kind of at an impasse until someone does a scientific analysis on that. But my hunch is that a lot of people would be a lot more motivated to use it into a certain capacity. It's the sort of thing where a lot of the times when to develop these healthy habits, to develop the things which are a structure which is boring, the things that people don't want to necessarily do, is taking that first step, isn't it? It's why New Year's resolutions are good in concept, not always great in execution, because taking that first step doesn't mean you're going to keep it as a formative habit, but it does mean that you're starting somewhere, doesn't it? And starting somewhere is way better than not starting at all, right? And then hopefully from there, there's probably not an insignificant number of people who start with a New Year's resolution or whatever and takes that first step and continues onwards into forming a healthy habit with it in the first place. The point is, I suppose, the gamification of thing, it doesn't need to help everyone, and it's totally fine if the majority of people pick it up and then drop it and never use it again, because the important part is the fact that some people are going to pick it up and they're going to continue to use it and it's going to be beneficial to them. That's the important part, which I feel like it's too easy to criticize and gloss over that. The fact that, if it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't work for most people, if it's not even the best way to go about something, it's that's not important. In my opinion, as long as it's not actively harmful. It's not you open up Pokemon Sleep and it's playing flashing lights or something, continuously throughout the night or something. As long as it's, you got to work under the assumption that it's done with good intentions. Obviously, you might be it's from a corporation, it can't be done necessarily with good intentions, but it's it can be done with good intentions while also having the idea of trying to make money and further the branding and franchise at the same time, I suppose. That's kind of you take the good and the bad with one, because, the corporations at least have the sort of money to actually fund these sort of things in the first place. So, I'm not going to be I'm not trying to sit here being yeah, go big mega corporations or anything like that. I'm just trying to say, you got to look at it within the context of reality, I suppose. And stripping it of its context is not really doing it much justice for your side or the other side, to be honest. But yeah. So gamification, basically, I'm for it. If it works for you, it works for you. I don't think it will necessarily work for me, but, some people are going to develop healthy habits of it, and that's great. Especially if you're someone who doesn't have great sleeping habits right now, or you just want something nice to pass your time or to set a schedule to. It's going to work, probably. And it helps that Pokemon has such a worldwide appeal, I think, for all ages appeal, that it's going to appeal to a lot of different people. Some kids out there absolutely love Pokemon. Some kids out there don't like to go to sleep. Some kid out there is probably going to be motivated to go to sleep because Pikachu's going to sleep or something on his phone. Or their phone, I should say, Let's be inclusive. If I'm trying to talk about all ages inclusivity, why stop at just ages? It's going to work for someone. Now, saying this, I don't think people are being necessarily all that negative about Pokemon Sleep. I think people are much more just like, oh yeah, I forgot that was coming out. And generally people have quite a positive view, I think, on Pokemon as a franchise, not necessarily as a video game nowadays. That's, but that's only like really like gamers, I suppose, who have a negative view, I think, in the first place. I think as a general populace, you'll find most people just be like, oh, Pikachu's really cute. And that's fair. But that's just how it is in majority of life. You can't judge, opinions of the mass populace from a biased sample size. And yes, the internet is a biased sample size. I don't think we get at the stage where it's not a biased sample size, but we're getting kind of close-ish, depending on like the social media use. But I suppose just due to the nature of social media in the first place of like, algorithms and feedback loops of engagement, that probably it's always going to be kind of biased. But oh well. I'm not here to really discuss the implications of that, because I don't really know, to be honest. My point is gamification can be a very useful tool, I think, for motivating people to do things. It depends entirely on its implementation. Pokemon Go, I thought it was a pretty cool one. I played it for a little bit during its first year, and I was like, it's not really my sort of thing. So I kind of stopped playing it. I wasn't all too great. Like, it's a very personal thing, I think, for me personally, where I'm just like, I kind of want, but that's not, I'm trying to think how to phrase this, because I was going to be like, I kind of want my games to like be substance from their own and not have other mechanics tied in, or not have other things be the center appeal of it. But that's not necessarily true, because there are games out there which I through story alone or through character design alone I will play, and that sort of thing. I guess it's just more like the gamification of tying in with real world habits is not something which appeals to me through the lens of video games, or through the lens of other things. I don't know why necessarily. Maybe it's a subconscious thing. Maybe it's just like, maybe it is genuinely I want a separation of video games as entertainment and the healthy habits I'm trying to form, because I don't know, I say this a lot about, like, I really value the importance of diligence. I suppose that things should be, diligence is like the key factor in a lot of things, rather than like motivation, which can be a very flimsy and fickle thing. Diligence is something you can rely on to build healthy habits, or any habits, I suppose, whatsoever, for things you want structure around. So I suppose by making it gamifying it for me personally, it sort of like takes away from the experience, or it like crosses the wires in my brain where I'm just like, I can't see this as something of like building a healthy habit for, more so as I'm just playing this as a game. Not to say that I can't play a game in a diligent sense, or that you can't have a healthy habits tied together with games. It's just, I guess for me personally, it doesn't work out as well. Or maybe I just haven't found the right one. Who knows? Maybe there's a habit out there which I should gamify, and I'm like, yes, this is it. But my hunch is, a lot of the time, I'm much better off with just like a generic app which will track things, rather than a gamified one by Pokemon. Unless, the Pokemon one has like even more functions than like the basic app you might find, I suppose, and like with the Google Play Store, then maybe it's time. Anyway, am I going to download a Pokemon Sleep? Probably not, but, if you do, tell me how it goes. And, I don't know, gamification. I guess I didn't really go into a nitty-gritty, I suppose, about gamification. I think there's a lot to talk about in the sense of it, but, hey, there you go. Yeah, there's a 101. I suppose it's not even a 101. I'm not really a professor in it. I'm not like that well educated on it. I'm just talking about random things. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.